What's up, everybody? It's your favorite favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Figma Zelda figure. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. I feel like this can close a door on a collection for me, so that's nice. But you know, when I start to think about that, it gets a little bit more complicated. Doesn't it always? Nonetheless, we have accessories to talk about and a fair amount of them, so let's just get started, shall we? So, of course, being Figma, you get your Figma hand tree, which is always a treat for me. And you get your, well, you have left and right fist hands that we saw on the figure in the opening. You have left and right hands for the bow. This one holds the bow. This one is just for the arrow. And then you have left and right holding hands for the swords. They're angled a bit lower so that she can get those poses out of it. And then left and right posing hands. All of them are styled the same. We'll talk about the stylings when we go through the figure, but all nice and appropriate choices. You get your standard Figma display stage, hinges, 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 swivels, swivels, and I rarely use them for Figma figures because they stand well on their own. I end up just trying to jam this into the back of a Marvel Legend and get those to stand a little better, so I always appreciate them coming with one. Weapons-wise, she comes with this sword. Look how great that blade is. Look how fine and stylish, like how small, but it adds so much to it. It's painted silver here, painted gold here, painted purple and gold down here on the hilt, and the way to get it into the hand, which holds it quite well, I must say, is to, I guess you could slide it up that way, or you could separate it here, which is what I advise, and then slide the handle through, and then attach the sword. She comes with a bow, once again, beautifully sculpted. They're not afraid of little small pieces whatsoever. They expect you to be responsible enough to handle it. It has this cream metallic, I think that's painted, but it might be the base plastic. It's so good I can't tell. And then the gold is painted on as well, and it's beautiful. It splits apart. You take the bow holding hand, insert it, and then put it back together, and it is grooved so that you know exactly which way it goes. However, the curve of the bow should be a relatively good sign. Well executed. She comes with the arrow for the bow, just as beautifully done as the other two. This little spiky tip there, it's like, it's amazing. Like their level of, I don't know, credit and respect that they give the collector to be able to handle fragile pieces is just, it's a breath of fresh air. And then of course you can have her hold it by inserting this piece, which is the thumb, and you just kind of got to find a place. I will show you her utilizing both accessories, but it's just for her to hold. You can even get like just the tip of this unit and hold it. And we'll take a look at this in the final thoughts. And then lastly, she comes with an alternate face, just has the slightest bit of a subtle smile to it. The detailings are all the same, which we'll talk about when we get to the figure, and I'll show you how to put this face on here. Crown off. And then you should be able to pull this hair independently, and then the face off. And then face on. Hair on, and oh, now I can't remember which way it goes. Yeah, this way. Crown on. Just swap the face out. So let's talk about the figure. It is breathtaking. Like, I've been looking forward to this figure for a long time, and for the most part, it doesn't disappoint. Let's talk about detailings. So the head, another great sculpt, very serious face, but I dig it. I'm not sure which face I'm going to end up using. We have this softer piece here, the ponytails, they shouldn't get in the way whatsoever. They're sculpted great, and they're painted. The little wraps are painted, and then the little silver tips on the end. Eyes are painted, lips are painted. This little crown is painted gold, and then the blue gem is painted a metallic blue. Same for the back detailings. The back of the hair of the ponytail is on a hinge. It doesn't swivel, which is fine, but it's on a hinge. And I will say, oftentimes I find it sticking up, but it just takes, a little effort to put it down. It's not a complaint. That's just, more of a talking point. And then it has this like grayish blue metallic hair clip here, and then more wraps, and then the gold piece painted and sculpted there. Earrings are all sculpted and painted. Absolutely fantastic. The head itself is on a typical Figma joint, so it's a ball hinge with a peg that goes into the head and then into the neck. As a result, it's basically a triple jointed system, but I'll show it off a little bit. So you get the head all the way down to there, and then you get the head all the way up to there, and then the swivel works at all angles, and you get the little head nod and stuff as well. Little confused dog look. So really, really, really well done. And that pretty much stays consistent throughout. There are little things I'm going to nitpick on, but you know, what review would be complete if I didn't nitpick on something? We have these gold shoulder pieces. For the most part, they get out of the way just fine. If you were able to articulate them off the shoulder, I think it would be even better. The gold does look nice, as does the blue gem. We'll wait for that to focus. I'm cutting this in because I missed it. The shoulders themselves on these ball pegs do slide out, so that should help with the shoulder pad. So I mean, I'm not sure what would have been better, this break in the sculpt or the shoulder pad issue, but either way, I don't think it's anything to really complain about, and that's on both sides. Wow. In addition, you have a bicep swivel right at the glove, so the joint is seamless. You have the gray detailings all sculpted in painting on the glove, and the glove is painted as well. Single ball hinge for the elbow, and then it swivels at both ends, so you get your bicep swivel, an additional bicep swivel, which you don't really need, but it's there, and then one at the forearm as well. You don't really need that one either. Why? Because we have a wrist swivel, and that's attached to a ball hinge, and that swivels at both sides, so you can get in, out, or up, down. Detailings wise, we have this little like sculpted lace type pattern on the glove here and on the back of the hand here, which is carried on throughout all of the additional hands. Same for the other side. So you can get the range. It doesn't really stop you, those shoulders. But I feel like if you could move them, I mean, I don't know, it doesn't really hurt it. Let's talk about the shoulder. We missed that. So it's a ball joint coming out to a disc hinge, which does get you a little bit of a butterfly joint. Not the greatest, but it is there. And then the shoulders go up to there and then swivel around. So nothing really to complain about. I'm guessing that this is a single ball joint. However, it might be a ball hinge in the torso. I'm not that familiar with Figma figures, so I'm not comfortable making a definitive statement, but it feels like it's one or the other. And it feels like, to me, more of just a ball joint. For this area, the chest and the purple is all painted this metallic purple, and it has this little like Hyrule writing down it. Just a tremendous amount of detail taken. The stitching is painted across the lower abdomen. The gold is painted and sculpted, as are these blue tassels, and so is the stitching on the back. No complaints whatsoever. We have this gold belt that attaches to the vest. That's all sculpted and painted. It's separate from this piece, but it's also seamless. The gold stuff down here, all sculpted and painted, as are the blue gems. And then you have this little flag piece that hangs down. This is a very stiff plastic. I would be careful with this. I haven't had any issues, but I think it's worth noting. And then we have all the symbols and stuff, and it's just, I can't say enough good things about it. Which brings us to our issue, which is these side pieces. I feel like these should have been on some sort of, like, they obviously swivel out, but you can't get them to stay out really, and I would like to be able to kind of spread this dress out a bit, so to speak, but I have a hard time keep getting it to stay. But all this stuff at the bottom of the dress is sculpted. This little chain link running across the bottom is painted, as is this sharp edging of the dress, all painted. Really, really, really well done. The legs are all completely done. They're at ball joints, T-jointed ball joints at the hip. And then you have a knee joint in there. And then the ankles have a tilt up. I know this is hard to see, but I just can't show you any better way. A tilt down, an ankle rocker. The boots are sculpted and painted. A toe hinge. Like, they pull out all the stops and you're never going to see it. Do you know what I mean? Come on. That is a lot of pride, that is a lot of passion, and that's a really well executed figure. There she is with the older Figma Link. I know I need to get the new one. I was hoping that she would look fine next to this one, but I feel like she's a little too tall. I don't know. I prefer this Link look because it just reminds me more of the classic Link that I'm familiar with, but I guess I have no choice. But I think for the time being, they look good enough together. Maybe I'll put him on the display stage and raise him up a taste. Final thoughts wise, this is the best figure I've messed with in an extremely long time. My really only single complaint, actually 2 complaints. I wish that the hair braids on the side of the head were a little bit more pliable. They do cause some issues when you're going to put her in some poses articulation wise, and I wish that the side dress skirts were held out with some sort of tension, a ball hinge or a ball peg or something that could get the dress out and splayed out a bit more. Outside of that, it is absolutely tremendous. You know what else it is? It's unique. Like my kids. Do you know why my kids are unique?
Because my daddy owns more pretty princess toys than I do.
I was going to say their personality, but this has personality and it comes through. It evokes the character. It does everything that it's supposed to do. Speaking of which, I know I couldn't show this off earlier. I couldn't get it to work. As you can see, she can hold the arrow just fine. And you can put her in a pose like this, which looks super cool. The sculpt is amazing. The paint is amazing. The articulation is great. Could be better if you had those side dress pieces splayed out a bit more. But outside of that, it is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the closest figures I've seen to being downright perfect in a very long time. If you are a fan of Figma, if you are a fan of Legend of Zelda, if you are a fan of cool figures, or if you are a fan of great display pieces or pretty princesses, I highly recommend it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care.